Welcome to Jen Care's Live Talks powered by Swag Her Magazine and Chosen Counselors, the show that brings the community to you Mondays at 8 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. Here we engage in tough talks and meaningful conversations, featuring guests that help us stay in the know. If you're watching on Facebook, be sure to like and follow our page. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to never miss a show. Now, here's your host, Jen Cares.
Well, good evening and welcome to Jen Cares Live Talks powered by Swagger Magazine and Chosen Counselors. I am your host, Jen Cares, and the founder of Chosen Counselors, a nonprofit organization that seeks to inspire, motivate, empower, and strengthen individuals and families. And here at Jen Cares, we specialize in bringing the community to you. We love tough talks and meaningful conversations, okay? So thank you for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and share. First, I want to talk about Black History Month. Dun, 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 dun. Who do we want to celebrate today? Today, we want to celebrate Oprah Winfrey. Yeah, I know. And I'm choosing her because she had a talk show, and I just feel like she was so dope. She's an American actress, producer, author, philanthropist, global media leader. She's known for a nationally syndicated talk show, The Oprah Winfrey Show, which ran from 1986 to 2011. Wow, she has done so many amazing things. And I feel like she fell in alignment with our guests on tonight, the hair, the beauty. Oh, wait till you guys meet her. She's amazing, all right? So yes, so that's our Black History of today. I want to also say special thanks to each and every one of you for tuning in the last time we were on with Deanna Brown Beanie talking about Crossroads. Such a great episode. I am so proud of her. She is a trendsetter and she is up and coming. So stay tuned on what it is that she's doing. But friends, know that we always cross or come to a crossroad. And I hope that you are at ease with the decisions that you make regarding your crossroad. All right? So here we go. Let's get into tonight. Tonight, we're talking about the life of a creative. Okay? And today, my guest is Susan Smalls. She is more than a publisher. She's an author, a playwright, a creative visionary, leading powerful storytelling initiatives through Small House Kids and other innovative projects designed to uplift voices and cultivate imagination. And I'm so honored to have her with us on tonight. Please help me welcome Susan Charlie. Woo!
Hey, y'all.
How are you doing?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing great. That she get a little Oprah. She just gives boss slave with the hair. I just love Susan. I love it. Okay. I just want to say thank you again so much for joining us. We're going to hop right on into it. Here at Jen Cares, we always start with a quote of the day. And today's quote of the day is, creativity is not a competition. Again, creativity is not a competition. What are your thoughts on that quote?
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely 100% believe in that because I feel like each person brings their own vantage point and perspective to their creativity. And because no one else has lived your life or had your specific experience, then, you don't ever have to compete with anybody because you bring something unique to the creative space.
Yes. I think sometimes people get in a competition mode too because maybe my creativity doesn't look like yours, so we feel like we got to compare things. And that can get frustrating and hard when you can just do what you're called to do or what you're gifted to do.
Oh, absolutely. And because our creativity is meant to complement each other. And something that you may bring to a particular project or your lens may be different than mine, but I think if we learn how to collaborate more and complement each other more, then there would be less competition.
Oh, collaborate more. I like it. So we started hot already. Again, I have questions, but friends, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Because sometimes we've had a bad experience collaborating or we're fearful to ask for help. What words of wisdom would you give somebody that finds themselves in that bugaboo?
You just never know. you never know who you're going to have the opportunity to meet, who you're going to have the opportunity to work with. And I say you have to really buffer yourself for the disappointments, because those things are going to happen. You're going to collaborate with people, and have to work with people who may offend you in a way, or hurt you in a way, or, do you dirty in a way. This is all just a part of the business that we're in, and a part of the process of things. And so you learn how to, you don't want to have that expectation from anyone, but you learn how to not let it affect you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not always easy. That comes with time and experience and maturity. So
Mm-hmm.
as you grow, as you mature, you learn how I'm learning how not to take things personal, because I can.
We human.
Mhm.
Like, you attack me, let me take my earrings off. And you're not that person anymore, right?
Right.
And your name is on the line, your business is on the line. So you have to really rethink all the actions that you wanted to do, because when you step into that role of, putting forth small house or putting forth small house kids, I can't do that because I have people looking up to me. I have you to me, and I have to make the right decision.
Absolutely. 100% agree with that.
I love it.
Also, don't let nobody play with you either.
Huh?
Don't let nobody play with you either. So, you can protect your business, protect your brand, but also protect your boundaries.
For sure. Please don't let nobody play with you. That's somebody else. That's somebody else. I like it. So, who is Susan? How would you describe yourself, Susan?
I would say I'm like a multi-hyphenate creative. I enjoy all things creativity, not just the things that I particularly indulge in, which is writing. That's my thing, writing and producing. But I enjoy all forms of creativity. It's always been a part of who I am as a person, a part of my life, a part of my family. So I would say I'm a multi-hyphenate creative. I'm a mother. I'm a minister of the gospel, like all the things, all of the things that kind of just incorporate who we are. And depending on the day, I might be something different. I'm ever evolving. I'm in my, like everybody else, I want to be in my soft girl era. I'm a lover girl at heart. I tell everybody that, a poet, just so many things. I try not to box myself in, and I try to, as I'm growing and evolving, just experiencing different parts of myself I may not even know. So who I am is still being defined. I would say that.
Parts of myself I may not even know. And that's big, because sometimes we feel like when we become a grown adult, whatever age you feel that is, I'm still learning myself, right? That you know everything about yourself. But every day, we learn something new.
Absolutely. And every experience life is here to teach us, right? And so as we're going through life, we're meeting new people, we're having new experiences, and we're learning new things about ourselves. We should always be evolving anyway. And so, it's a privilege to live long enough to evolve and to learn yourself along the journey. So I'm excited about that.
Yes, it's a privilege. I like that. It's a privilege. Oh, where do I start? Again, you're multifaceted. You have so many gifts and talents. So let me talk to the creator first. What does it mean to be a creator to you, beyond the title, beyond the platform of someone that's feeling like I'm a creator? Because that's really big with social media and content, right? But what does a creator mean to you?
I think we all have that God-given ability to create something. I think creativity can look different for each one of us. I think tapping into that God side of us is what it means to be a creative, whether it's someone who does spoken word, so you're able to like really speak things into existence, or someone who creates something with your hands, or even a person who's able to create systems for businesses. There's a level of creativity that is attached to that. So it's not just all art and singing and dancing, but whatever your mind is able to conceive and then your hands is able to achieve. I think that's what makes you a creative.
I like it. So I'm on this mission of reading the Bible in a year, right? And I got to the part where they were talking about building a tabernacle, and it was so specific and so detailed. And it was showing how some of these skills came to do these pieces, some of these skills came to do those pieces, because everybody's not gifted to sew.
No.
Some of y'all don't even know how to sew. When you're growing up, we knew how to put a button back on a thing store. But it's something that can go beyond a button, okay? And it's important to know that we all have different skills, embrace the different skills that we have. And if we don't have it, it goes back to the piece you said of collaborating, right? Talking to other people, but also being confident and the skills that you have.
Absolutely. And sometimes you can have the same skill set as another person who may be more evolved in their skill. They may be more skillful in a particular thing. And sometimes in order to grow or in order to see our vision kind of take on even, become bigger, you have to tap into somebody whose skill set is the same as yours, but their skill is more evolved. So all really about being comfortable with yourself, being comfortable with what God has given you. It makes it so much easier to then be accepting of other people's skill sets and other people's gifts and other people's creativity.
So good, so good, so good. So would you say being creative is a gift, a skill, or responsibility, or a mixture? What would you say?
I think it's all of those things. It is all of those things. Like, there are things that you can become classically trained in. There are some people who are just naturally inclined to certain things, like they just have a natural ability towards that. And so it's a mixture of both things. I think whether it's natural or something that's taught, the onus is always on us to grow in whatever that creativity is. And that growth can look like so many things. It can look like going to school, or it can look like just putting your creativity in practice and consistently practicing and practicing until you begin to perfect your craft. So I think that creativity can be all of those things, and it is all of those things. And at different moments, it can be one thing or the other. So again, always evolving, always changing, always growing. I think it's important that we're always open to that, because it allows us to experience our creativity and other people's creativity in so many different facets.
Yeah, always growing, and adjusting as needed, right? Because what we did one time might not work the next time. Or I never forget, I did an event one time. We'll talk about events too. But I did an event one time. It was amazing. The next time I did, it was like, and it can be discouraging, So even in being creative, whatever it is your skill to do, how do you keep your motivation up in those situations?
I don't want to say I'm cliche, but I think always going back to why you're doing it, because discouragement is inevitable. It is going to happen. I think I recently went through a season of being really discouraged, because sometimes you're measuring things based on your last success. Even if it was successful, if it doesn't exceed your last success, it can easily feel like a failure, especially for someone who struggles with perfectionism. And so it's like, okay, this didn't fail, but it didn't exceed the last time. And so, you'll tend to go through not just comparing yourself with other people, but comparing yourself with yourself and the last thing that you did. And so, that's going to come, but always going back to the grassroots of why you decided you wanted to do something. And I think for me, getting out of discouragement has meant just doing the thing without any expectation. You know what I mean? Just enjoying the art, because a lot of us as creatives or artists, we started it because we just loved it. It wasn't about a platform. It wasn't about money. It wasn't about success. It was just about enjoyment. And I think one of the things that has worked for me to get out of discouragement when I found myself there is to go back to doing it just for the joy of doing it. And you realize you kind of reignite that passion that got you started in the first place. And that helps to move you from that place of discouragement.
Now, Masu, I didn't think you was going to gather me so quickly. But that's so true. We got to remember why we're doing it. And if one person was appreciative, if one person made an impact, then that's who it's for. It's not that we're doing things for the masses. Sometimes it really is that one person. And sometimes that one person can be yes or no, but you did it.
Yeah.
You thought you couldn't, but you did it. And people came. People showed up in whatever form or fashion. So
sometimes that one person is you. Like sometimes you have to do a thing to prove to yourself that you can do it. You know what I mean? And so the person that walks away feeling encouraged by the thing that you chose to do is you. Because now, well, I did it. You know what I mean? And so you have overcome that first step of self-doubt, not being sure if you can do a thing. And so even if it doesn't turn out the way that you want it, even if it's not the best version of it at the end of the day, you walk away encouraged that at least you did the thing that you said you were going to do.
Thank you. That means a lot too. Just again, we sometimes can beat ourselves up so bad. We have ideas and we want to see them go to fruition, and sometimes it goes out the park, sometimes it doesn't. But remembering your why,
Yeah.
because ironically, some people come back years later and be like, "I really enjoyed blah blah blah." I'm like, "Why you tell me then?"
Mm-hmm.
Nevertheless, thank you. I needed that in this moment to know that that then wasn't a bad thing because it brought me to my now. So,
Absolutely.
okay, okay,
Absolutely.
thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me see. So in that, you can sometimes get burnt out too, right? So like even though you remember your why, how can a creative bounce back from burnout? Where you did it so much and it was received well, or you did it so much where however it was received, right? Because you just said if there's one person or you, how can somebody be proactive about burnout? Because so many ideas also could come at one time. It's like, how do I juggle all these things? Where do I start?
Mm-hmm. I think being intentional about your rest, which is something that I'm
Mm,
also learning, and not just the collapse. Like now you don't have a choice but to rest. Your body is collapsed. Your mind is
mhm,
cloudy. It's hard for you to create. To being really intentional about. I think when we are more intentional about our creativity, it leaves us more room to be able to be intentional about our rest. So we're just doing
mhm,
everything on the fly. You know what I mean? And we don't have like a real thought out plan and process that will keep us going and going and going and going. But once we have planned and processed and we're like, okay, this is what I'll be doing from this time to this time, and then
mhm,
you're able to also schedule in that opportunities for you to have downtime, to rest, to also enjoy creativity, because as a creative sometimes that's the hardest thing to do, is to just
mhm,
enjoy
mhm,
other people's creativity, because you're
mhm,
always working, and you're always worried about what's next. Got to do
mhm.
this, got to do that. But when you take the time to just enjoy it, that helps you to deal with and get out of that feeling of burnout.
I love it. I
And
love it.
boundaries. If I have
Ooh,
not done anything in the year of our Lord 20 and 26, you hear what I'm saying?
yeah.
It is being really, really specific about your boundaries and being okay um with how it may affect someone else, how they may feel offended, or how the switch up may be a little bit confusing to people, because
Mhm.
nothing will burn you out more than not standing on your boundaries.
So I want to take a little detour here, if that's okay. Because we like tough talks here, and boundaries is really big because sometimes we don't know where they are. We
Mhm.
think we're enforcing them, but we really aren't. Because somebody is still slipping through the cracks some kind of way. So can you help us through the process of your process of how you were able to really enforce some of saying like, look, enough is enough.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's important to have a good team. And even if that's you and one other person, it's really important to have people who are able to undergird the vision that you have,
Mhm,
to filter things through so that everything is not landing on you.
mhm,
That allows you more space to create. I've learned to do that on the production and also on the publishing end, is to trust other people with the part of the vision that they're responsible for. So
mhm,
if I have a production manager, don't text me. Don't call me to ask me something about rehearsal. There is someone who is in place, whose job and responsibility it is to oversee how the rehearsal process works. And I have
mhm,
to stand on that. I have to make sure if you decide to reach out to me, either you're not going to be answered because you've already been told to reach out to somebody else, or you will be redirected to what we established in the beginning. And so having people that you trust to work the vision with you is really important in establishing boundaries. And then you have to be the first person to respect your boundaries. So if you set a boundary in place and then you cross it to immediately accommodate someone else, then you're teaching people that you don't even respect the boundaries that you put in place. So I think that us as creatives, like once we set a boundary and a precedent for a thing, we have to stick to that thing. And
mhm.
hear it all the time. Like we train people how to treat us, we train people how to interact with us.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you're getting certain treatments from people that's burning you out, is because you've trained them to treat you in that way. And so now it's time to, number one, retrain yourself, and then
Mhm,
number two, retrain the people around you to say, this is something that is a boundary that I'm putting in place, and I'm going to respect it. And if you want to be in any type of proximity to me, work moving
mhm.
forward, whether it's work or play,
Yeah.
you have to respect that.
I like it. I like it. Letting your team do the job they were assigned to do.
Absolutely.
Ooh. And you stepping away. And I get it. I'm always learning this as well because sometimes it's easier for me to just knock it out because I'm already in a system. But
Mhm.
I was like, no, that's what they're there for. Because then they won't have nothing to do. So let me make sure they have something to do. Keep them employed, you know?
And teach your team, because you're also training your team on how to do their job. So if you're just going to jump in and do it, then when you start to get team members that are more lackadaisical, then that falls back to you as the leader, because you've
Yeah.
trained them to not do their job because you'll just jump in and do it. So it's important to have people who you trust. And then it's important to have people who will check you on that. Like, you
Mm,
have to check me too. Like, no, I'm supposed to be the one doing that.
yeah.
So chill. And
Yeah.
you, okay, you have to respect it. And so, burnout, being able to avoid burnout is really important, to have people around you who's going to be accountable and is going to hold you accountable.
I like it. I like it. I kind of saw that in action. So I had an event last year at Sue's lovely, lovely, lovely place. And when you was like, this person is who's going to be charging their store, and you removed yourself and you was out of there, I said, yes, I like it. Delegate to somebody else, because there's so much during the back end of all the other things you have to do. If
Yeah.
you could give someone to somebody else, by all means, let them go and let them go forth in it, because then you're freed up to take a moment for yourself, to work on something else, or to just do nothing. And guess what? That's okay too, because you avoid burnout. I like it. Very nice, very nice. Gathering us together on this Monday evening. Okay. So, so you're also a writer and publisher. So kind of in the same gem of both of them. What caused or inspires you to become this publisher, and then led to you being a writer? Or were you a writer first and then a publisher? Did the chicken come before the egg, the egg before the chicken?
I was always a writer first.
Mhm.
And my publishing journey started with wanting to turn, when I shifted to doing children's productions, because I was always really excited to do musicals and period pieces and stuff like that. And then, being a mom, kind of shifting to like, okay, as much as I enjoy Disney, my kids enjoy Disney. And it was like, my kids said to me, like, we think you could write, like you could write a children's production. I never thought about it. And we did it, and it was really successful. Like year after year after year, the production kept growing. And I saw that there was this need and desire for the type of representation that we were giving in the production. And so after that, after having the success of the show, which was Princess Nile and a Journey to the Magic Window, we hit 2020, and we know, like, the whole world kind of flipped upside down during COVID. And we knew we weren't going back into the theater anytime soon. And I felt like that was my opportunity to really solidify the story that had such a huge impact over the years by writing it
Mhm.
into a children's book. And when I have reached out to, someone who I knew who did publishing, you know what I mean? It wasn't the right fit for what I wanted. Like, I was really, really specific about wanting a certain quality of product for my children's book. I didn't just want to throw something together. I didn't just want, the standard print on Amazon KDP. Like, I wanted bells and whistles, because I had started collecting books, kind of
Mhm.
looking through it, feeling the paper type, feeling the
Mhm.
covers, seeing like what all the options were. And those things were not available for independently published authors in the way that I saw it was available for traditionally published authors. And I
Mhm.
wanted that for my project. So that caused me to kind of deep dive into the publishing and self-publishing world, printing books overseas during COVID. That was
Mhm.
crazy.
Mhm.
But I knew I wanted a certain quality product, and I couldn't get
Mhm.
it here. And so, that made me dive into the publishing world, and it was something that I really, really enjoyed. And then our book, like, it sold out before my shipment ever came. Like, it sold out 2 times. And
Yeah.
I'm waiting with all these delays happening because of COVID and navigating a process that I had never experienced before,
Mhm.
realizing, after that, after getting my books, after shipping them out on the whole hoopla and the book launch and all of that, I realized that I really wanted to help other people to also go to market with a product that would be comparable to someone
Mhm.
was traditionally published. You know what I mean? And so I launched Small House Publishing with that vision in mind.
I love it. I love it. So many things on that. One, Journey to the Magic Window was amazing. I got to see the production. Was that last year?
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I love the creative minds, right? It just brings so many. I felt like I got a little hairspray, I got a little the whiz, I got all different things all in one battle, but it was just a good time. The music, the dancing, the comedy. Phenomenal job to your entire cast. Phenomenal job. Kudos to that. To go from the idea of the book to the children's book to the production. Amazing. If y'all want to learn how to do those things, again, y'all want to link up with Small House Kids and Small House Productions. Absolutely do. I recommend 10 out of 10. The other part, though, is wanting what you want and being okay with finding that. Because sometimes people are like, oh, I'll just publish it and that's good. But if that's not how you wanted it to be, our last guest, Deanna, she did a book on Crossroads talking about teen pregnancy. And she was like, she wanted it to be interactive. She wanted to have worksheets and things. She saw it and she made it that. And it's so important to follow through on what your heart is saying for it to be, because then you love it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can make an egg sandwich and it'd be fine. But if I really put all the bells and whistles on that egg sandwich, I'm like, McDonald's, Chick-fil-A ain't got nothing on me, you know? Because we put in to get what it is that we want. So I like that of doing that research to get the quality that you want. Because again, you'll go in the store and you see some stuff, you're like, oh, this is nice. Mm-hmm. You think it's not in your budget, but actually it could be.
It absolutely could be. It absolutely could be. And you know what? I think this is the time for independent artistry has really taken off now that we have the birth of social media and how that has evolved. You know, artists have an opportunity to cut out that middleman and really be able to go directly to market with whatever it is that you're creating without having to go through a publishing house deciding that they want to publish your work, or without having to go through, you know, having a manager if you're an artist who does music, you know what I mean, and going through a record deal. You can literally post something on any one of the social media platforms and someone see it and say and give you a coin, like we've seen. And all of the artists, even that we see now, all of them have gone through pretty much that same route of I used to be on YouTube, or I used to be on this, or I used to be on that, just playing my instrument, singing my song or whatever. So this is a time for independent artists to really put their artwork out there. And I always say one of the things that will keep us stagnant sometimes is wanting it to be perfect. I always say it doesn't have to be perfect, but it can be perfected. You can put something, you can get it out there, and then you can perfect it as you go. You can publish a book, the same book, as many times as you want. You know what I mean? If you publish it and it's not everything that you want it to be, go back and do it again. If you put a show up and it's not everything that you want it to be, you can go back and do it again. And so things can be, they don't have to be perfect, but they can be perfected. And this is a perfect opportunity for all creatives and all artists to really put their work out there. Out having to go through other channels and wait for somebody to put you on. Put yourself on. This is a time to create your own opportunities. And you may not look like someone else's opportunities, but a lot of us are afraid to be amateurs. Like everyone come out the gate as a professional and be completely polished, right? But we don't want to be a novice. We don't want to say, okay, I'm just starting this thing and I'm putting my best foot forward. I look back at footage from our first time doing the show to our last time doing the show, and the growth, you know, the show wasn't everything that I wanted. I keep telling my guy, like, I want a 10, like I want a perfect 10. I ain't have my perfect 10 yet. Even if I show somebody, did you get the show that you wanted to? I said, I did not. But then when I look back at like pictures and videos from the first time we did the production to the last time we did, we have had an exponential amount of growth. So being able to just see that alone, you know, let me know, like, you at least you started where you were, what you had, and look how much you were able to grow. So then that encourages you to just keep on going. So creatives, this is the time, this is the season for you to be able to really put your work out there. Do it.
So many things with that, but I'm gonna follow. I'm going to my next question for you. How even in putting it out there, how do you work to also stay true to your own voice? Because the world is so noisy, right? And even then you feeling like, no, I didn't get it yet. And everybody's like, no, but it was perfect. And it's like, you know of what it is you had in your mind for it to be. And how do you work to still stay committed to, okay, I want to tweak this, I want to tweak this, or I'm just gonna keep the same. Like it's like that seesaw trying to find out how to still stay true to what it is that was in your heart to put out. When so many people, critics, good and bad, are out there. Nah, 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 nah.
I think you have to be clear on what your vision is and what your overall goal is for the thing. And I think when you have some clarity with that, like when you've sat with it, when you've prayed over it, when you've written it down, when you've researched it, when you've done all the work so that your vision of the thing is clear, I think that will always bring you back to being authentic in what it is that you are creating, because there is so much noise out there. We have so much information at our fingertips that sometimes it gets to be overwhelming with making decisions. But I think that, yeah, once you have really sat with your vision and once you've really prayed over it, whether it's an obstacle or a criticism or whatever it may be, you'll always come back. The Bible tells us to write the vision and make it plain so that the person who's running with the vision will run and not faint with it, right? And so making sure, and I'm the one running with the vision that I have, so I'm writing it down, I'm making it plain, and so that as I am running with it, I'm so clear on the direction and I'm clear on, where I'm going with it. And I think that's important. So having a sense of clarity, making sure that it's something that, you have researched, something that you have prayed over, something you've taken the time to really sit with. I think that helps you to stay authentic no matter how much noise is around you telling you that maybe you should change this or maybe. And listen, sometimes being open, because you may change it and go, I don't like that, and that's okay. Or you may change something and say that did not work the way that I needed it to work. I need to try something else or go back to the original blueprint. I think, again, there's so much growth and so much evolution and creativity that once we remain open to how we're growing, we won't fall into being inauthentic.
I like it. It was going into the next question of the faith, and we're saying about, doing prayers, really sitting with it to make sure you feel at ease with it. It's so important because sometimes we do something we're unsure or we want to have some more pieces legit in place, and we go forth like, dang, I wish I would have took that time to really prep just a little bit more. I know I wanted to do the play, but I should have did some more auditions instead of just finding random people, because that also goes into sometimes just giving somebody a try. And I've been there before, giving somebody a try to bring you on the end. So making sure that you're finding a person that best fits for that role. And again, the characters you had, oh, hilarious. Hilarious. And they owned the role. They showed passion for it. And like when you're sharing of having your team, when you say your team was like, no, I got it. They take passion in that to make sure they're carrying out your vision, your plan, what it is you're trying to do.
Absolutely. And it's really important to have the right people around you, 150%. And then sometimes, I mean, it depends on how God has led you to do a thing, because there are times he will allow you to sit with it. And there are times when he'd be like, no, go now, like now. And you kind of have to trust as you go. You know what I mean? And so just having that relationship with God and knowing the voice of God as it relates to you, I think is really, really important, because, the way that he may deal with someone else is not the way that he may deal with you. And so knowing how God deals with you and being able to hear his voice clearly and his instructions clearly, I think also keeps you authentic, because people will give you their opinions, even when it's a God thing, that you should do it this way or you should do it that way. And, you're able to come back and say, no, this is how the Lord told me to do it, because he's also specific. He doesn't leave things up to happenstance. Like when he gives us a vision for a thing, he may not give us the whole vision, but he's giving us the details as we're going. And so it's really important to know the voice of God for yourself, so that you're able to stick to the vision that ultimately he has given you.
I tell you, am I reading the Bible in here that Genesis, Exodus, and Leviticus, he was specific. Do this is how you sacrifice. This is not how you sacrifice. And if you do it the wrong way, you're gonna get it, because he said don't do it that way. And like you said, God will give you the specifics if you seek him, I promise, and it will blow your mind, because it's that small little idea that he'll be like, yep, you did it how I want to. And then it just goes amazing because he breathed on it because you were, oh, so good, so good, so good. That's another one. So you have the story that became this production. So you have a book with it. Tell us more of your other pieces and shows.
What's here to show y'all because you know. So this is the book.
Yeah.
Princess Nyla and the Journey to the Magic Window. I don't know if it's blurring it.
No, you can see it. It's beautiful.
You can see it. You can see it. So this was my first book that I published during COVID. It has been a real bestseller, and I'm not just saying it. I mean, I got the numbers to back it. You know.
Because I was going to ask. Everybody say they got a bestseller, so when I was
so many different things, but I try not to shade anybody. You know, I don't yuck nobody's yum. So, you know, if you want to say it's a bestseller because you sold 40, it's a bestseller to you. Huh?
You're right.
And then this is my sophomore book. This is the book that the project that we're going to be pushing even more this year, which is Penny and the Wishing Well. And we've done so many other things, like we've created composition books to go along with these, you know, representation, the characters that we developed. We hired an illustrator and went the whole long route of really bringing the vision for Small House Kids specifically alive. With different literature and different things that we have still coming up. So I'm so excited about that. But yeah, we've ventured off and we have Small House Publishing. We have, which is our publishing arm. Of course, I publish my own work and I also work with other people to publish their work. We're launching Small House University, which is my opportunity to teach people how to self-publish in a way, like I said, will rival traditionally published authors, or those who may want to get into the publishing world and publish for other people. We're going to be teaching all the tips, tricks, author branding, websites, formatting, writing, just all of the things that fall under the umbrella of writing and publishing. We'll be teaching at Small House Publishing University. We have a workshop coming up tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Okay, register for that at welcometosmallhouse.com. It's called the Hunger Avatar Lab. So we're helping authors to identify their audience, whether you've written a book, you're writing a book, you're building an author brand. Workshop is perfect for you. We have Small House Kids where we're publishing these books. We're doing the plays. We have our YouTube series coming out, Storytime at Small House, where it's going to be like Sesame Street, you know. So now that we don't have any more, I think PBS is on YouTube. It's not gone. It's just going to YouTube. We're going to also be in that space. And then we have Small House Productions where we've done Princess Nyla, we've done Blue, we've done Club 44, we've done all of these different Dark Side of the Moon. And we'll be doing even more stage production. We'll be venturing into film. So it's a lot. It's a lot happening, and I'm excited about all of it.
I'm excited. So I'm like, how can I keep up? How can I be an actress? I'm ready. I love this. So let me go back for a second, because one is really big about a book where you see somebody who looks like you.
Yeah.
In honor of Black History Month, let's talk about it for a second, right? So if I go to smallhousekids.com, I can go and check out the books that you've created, to purchase a book, to purchase a composition book, to purchase a storybook, The Penny and the Wishing Well, or Princess Nyla and the Magic Journey. You got some t-shirts over there. You have a coloring book, activity book rather. And this is so cool, again, because it makes a difference. Like, you see a lot of the dolls, and growing up, sometimes they didn't always look like us. I love my Cabbage Patch. His name is Sheldon Guy Harris. I've had him over 40 years. He's only been in the washing thing one time because I thought he was about to fall apart. But it meant a lot to me to have a doll that looked like me. And I think it's so cool that your stories are putting us on the forefront. We're getting another princess, you know, because we didn't have a lot of princesses out there. You know, they're just coming about. So I think that's so cool. So friends, if you want to pick up a book for a child, a birthday is coming up. I know the holidays just passed, but you know, it's Monday, grab a book. Tomorrow's Tuesday, grab a book. Just because, you know. So head over to Small House Kids. I promise you, the production was amazing. She said she got a film coming. I can't wait to just support, you know, being a seat to say, go ahead, girl. Because that also means a lot too. Like, you don't have to always be a part of everything, but you can go and support by purchasing a book or going to the production. Okay. So another part you said was that you have the Small House Productions University, is that on the training is tomorrow? We go to welcome to smallhouse.com to sign up for that, right?
Yes. Yep.
So I signed up for tomorrow's training at 7. I got someone at 7. I wish I didn't, because I'd be tapped in to try to find out some nuggets. Because it's always good to learn. I worked with a publishing company for a couple of years. I did a book, a journal through a publishing company. Then my last one, I did self-publish it. But no buts. Actually, I'm really grateful because, again, what I learned from it. But we can always learn more things. Like, you think that you've evolved and know some things, but there's some things you've encountered that I might not have, And again, that's why it's always good to continue to connect yourself, to continue to grow and learn and be open. You might not need it now, but you might need it tomorrow. Okay. Okay. Then we have Small House Productions. And what can we find when we go to Small House Productions?
So Small House Production is our nonprofit organization. We are a 501c3 organization, and that is where all of our work through theater and film is through Small House Productions. So once you go there, you'll be able to meet our board of directors. You'll see some of the projects that we worked on, some of our core values as an organization, some of the upcoming things that we are going to be implementing in 2026. So I'm super, super duper excited about that. So yes, I always say our small house is growing.
Yeah.
So, small house comes from my name, Susan Small. And so we've taken every opportunity to just expand it as much. And I know that we haven't seen even the smallest percentage of what it's going to be. So I'm always excited for every little inch of growth that we experience at Small House.
Yes. And it's funny that we say small because there ain't nothing small about it. You're doing big things, right? Another part is you for sure have not even yet to see it. And I remember, coming to your reception for another event, and just your heart and how you put forth such elegance and professionalism and humility. It's just a beautiful package of the services that you offer in all lanes of the hats that you carry. And because of that, like you said, when we follow what God tells us, he breathes on that thing and he breathes life into that thing. And I'm so excited for your mind to continue to be blown of you're just saying, yes, I'm going to do it. Because there's a lot of people that's doing it, it's not doing a good job.
Right. No tea, no shade.
Because again, sometimes people are walking into places that they're not really skilled to do, and it's okay. If you can't do it, find somebody else. You don't have to overwhelm yourself with it. Yeah. And just, again, being honest with it. Again, some people have skills in the Bible, some people didn't have skills. You got to be honest with yourself. But even when you do have the skill, you also want to come with grace.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, this is a class tool, just making sure that you are representing your name well. And it's very hard because sometimes I don't want to be bothered either. And I'm like, I see you on such and such. I'm like, dang, going to just get yourself together. But I'm human, right? So I still have to always put my best foot forth, and that's all of it. So we're trying to be this creative, and we're trying to be this person on the forefront, even when I want to be in the back. Sometimes you still get pushed, and you want to be able to be with grace and elegance through it all. So kudos to you.
Thank you, Jen.
Oh my goodness, what's another question that I have for you? So when is movie coming out, you say? This year we're working on
we're working on a lot of things. I think we want to make sure we take our time and really build it out the way that I feel like the work deserves. We're working. I have a romance novel that I'm in the throes of writing. I'm trying to try my hand at different things because I write all types of things. I have a coffee table book that's also in the works with a lot of the poetry that I've written over the years. I never really share my poetry. I mean, I think people hear it more in the monologues that I write on stage, but I haven't shared. There's so many different aspects of creativity for me that I have not yet shared. And so I wanted to take this year and, however long it takes to begin to dive into some of those other things I have to share.
I like it. That's another sign of knowing that you're creative. The different avenues of being able to do the things, right? I remember I used to do poetry growing up as well. I can't tell you where some of those things are. It's in a book somewhere around here because you write down. But then also plays. I wrote 3 plays and stuff of that sort. It was pretty cool. But the other part of being creative is that though you're gifted, it doesn't mean that you stay there. Like,
Right.
you're talented to do it if you had to put that hat on, but there's sometimes other areas you'd rather be in, that administration piece, and make sure it all comes together because you know how to bring the people together, you know. So I like that of having different hats. This romance book, I'm interested. I'm in my little Kindle bag over here. I feel like I have to change my name if I wrote a book. Don't worry about it, but it'll be as good as one.
I've been writing romance. I'm like, now, I always tell them, don't judge me. But that's what I like about being creative, is that it's about exploring the human experience and whatever that looks like, and being honest, true to that. So I'm excited to kind of delve into some other things.
Yes, and that's a big part of being honest. So it's not a promo, but like, I recently watched the movie Relationship Goals, you know, based on Michael Todd's book, and I heard some critics and they were like, well, it's supposed to be a Christian book, but they were doing some things that wasn't Christian. I said, they were doing things that were human.
I mean, hello.
Okay. Some of y'all are Christian that are saying that y'all did also the things that they did, but I'm not him.
You know.
And I think that's sometimes missing in the Christian world too, of that humanness of being real, because people are getting themselves tied up, twisted up in some things and then being judged about it. But okay, I did it, now what? Help me. You know, if people, you know, if it's such a big problem, don't throw my name out there. Do some things of restoration and to help me make good choices if I was making bad choices, or understand the choices that I made and why I made them, because sometimes you don't know my story, right?
Listen, the Bible is scandalous. You know what I'm saying? I worked with Christine Grant to publish her book, Bible Tea. And it was such a really unique concept of sharing Bible stories like gossip, right? And so, but when you read them, it's like, no, this is in there. Huh? It is scandalous in there. And so, you know what I mean? It's real human experiences, and we can't ever sugarcoat that. So even in our creativity, we try to keep things, you know, honest and true. So being able to explore freely all different facets of creativity and staying true to it, I think that's important as an artist.
Now you said this is called Bible Tea. I like this because you're not reading the Bible.
Yes, Bible Tea. We did the publishing, we did a lot of her branding, we did her website. So you can head over to sipbibletea.com to grab a copy of that. It's such a good, interesting read. She does this thing like Bridgerton, so like Dear Bible Tea Sippers. It's really, really cute. Great concept. The book has sold out so many times, so kudos to her. Shout out to Kate.
Yes, I like it. Cause I don't know if this is my last time saying it, but like in my Bible, to keep myself accountable, I've been doing videos and my takeaways from it. And I was like, them animals was doing a lot on that boat, or they spend this, they lying, they scheming, they doing these things. And it makes it more personable, because sometimes people feel like, oh, the Bible's boring, all those different things. And I ain't gonna hold you. When they were talking about the chapter, I was like, oh my gosh, did I read this already? Because they also long chapters sometimes. But if I could read the books on my Kindle, I could read my Bible. Amen. I'm doing right. And the detail that they put in there again, I just be like, yeah. Then you're like, oh, they did what? So I'm excited for this Bible today. It's gonna help me stay motivated and encouraged to get to 365.
Right. It's a great book. You'll love it.
I like it. Okay. So in that you said of the story to the people with the Bible Tea and how you help with the marketing of it. Is branding important for an author in marketing? How does that work? Because I want to write a book and that's all. But is that really it at all?
Right. Absolutely. It's absolutely important. I think that being an independent artist of any kind, whether it's, you know, you're singing, you're writing a book, you become all of the things, right? You become your publisher, you become your marketing department, you become your brand strategist until you're able to reach a certain level of success where you're able to hire those things out. It's on you. And so it's really important that people understand when writing a book, you know, what all of those things, how all of those things will help to either grow the book or keep it stagnant. And so that's a part of what we're doing in the Reader Avatar Lab. It's like, these are some questions to ask even before you start writing, you know, being clear about who you're writing to. That's a part of, you know, being able to solidify a solid brand and marketing strategy, and all of that is first just knowing who you're talking to, because sometimes who we think we're talking to is not necessarily who our particular project is going to reach, depending on how we write it and how we market it. So all of these things kind of play together. And I think it's important to have a good understanding, even just a basic understanding, so that you're able to effectively communicate to somebody who may be working with you. You know what I mean? You may hire somebody and you don't understand any part of the language, you don't understand any part of the process. And so it makes it hard to communicate with somebody who is trying to help bring your vision to fruition. So I think that the branding, the marketing, all of these things play into the success of being an independent author. And so it is up to you as the creative, as the author, as the artist, as the brand, to do your due diligence in understanding even the basics of those things.
That's so good. When you sit there reading Avatar Lab, again, friends, y'all want to head on over, because wanting to write a book and doing a book and then seeing the fruits of that labor, three different things, right? Because you can write the book, but if you got errors where you're gonna have somebody edit, that's not a good look. You're not going to feel good about that, because somebody come back like, did you have somebody read it? And they probably come in love, sometimes come in like, girl, you did all this money, boy, what you thinking, So really doing a research of who you do connect with, because it could sound right in your head, but making sure when the reader reads it, it also sounds right to them, right? And then that audience piece, I got two parties that I'm trying to work on in my head. I'm in my author bag right now. And one is for adults, but one is for youth. And I have to be mindful of the words that I'm using that they will understand if I'm trying to get to them to help them explore what their feelings and thoughts are and feelings, emotions, and thoughts are. I have to make sure that it's at a level where they understand it. Even for the adults, if I'm honest, right? Because No Kid Left Behind, we got some adults that may not know how to do those different things of reading and things. And I never want to put somebody in a position where they got the book and they were excited and they were getting through, but then they got so worried and it took them forever and they put it down and then they stopped in that part of the process of me trying to get them to successfully be able to, okay, this is how I'm going to manage my feelings moving forward. So being mindful of who our audience is, going into the lab to make sure that all the pieces that we pull together is something that's also appealing to the people. Because sometimes a book cover be like, I need to get it. Now, sometimes I've got it and it was not good, but that book cover brought me in. So all those pieces.
Yeah, and there is, even to like creativity or artistry, there's also a science to artistry and creativity, and that's any kind of creativity. You can naturally know how to paint, but there are things like technically that you can learn, that's going to make your art, even that more valuable. And I think that also goes along with publishing and writing, is that yes, you may have a vision for a thing, but there's also a science behind why you would want to make one decision over the other. You know what I mean? And so like, even when I first wrote my children's book, it was my first time writing a book. And then I found an illustrator, and because she had illustrated children's books before, she was like, you have too many words. What is the age demographic that you are targeting? And then I realized that there is a maximum word count for every age demographic. So depending on what age they are and what grade they're in will determine how many words need to be in that particular book. And I didn't know that, right? And it took her telling me that, like, the way that you wrote this story was like you were writing it for film, but that is not how you write it to be illustrated and for children if you're writing for this particular age group. And so as I started to research, I realized there's a science behind even your word count, for the type of book that you're writing, whether it's a children's book or a novel or a self-help book, and so people tend to just do things because that's just what I want to do. But the industry standards are there for a reason. And so making sure that you do your due diligence in researching and gaining as much knowledge as you can before jumping into a thing is going to make sure that you set your project up for success.
So well, you got a flyer for the training for tomorrow. I need to share it with some people. Well, when is the next one if we can't meet tomorrow's training?
I know if y'all can't make it tomorrow, I am going to have another training in the month of March. So I'm going to put that date out sooner than later. And then I think sometime in the summertime, I'm going to launch the full university. So it'll be a full course that you'll be able to take. We're kind of styling it like a college, like a HBCU. Like that's the vibe of it. So I'm to make sure that it's fun and that it feels like an actual community. So if you're not following Small House Publishing University on Facebook or Instagram, go follow, because it's definitely about to
Yes, I'm gonna be sure to share those handles. But again, Francis, is really important because you want to write a book, you want to be able to connect with the professionals that have been doing it. She's done the research for us already. You heard
Right?
about your audience. I don't got to do it, And TikTok can teach me a lot. However, also having that person to pay for their knowledge, and also peace comes with that. Again, you want to write the book, how to not stress yourself out. Get with somebody that knows what they're doing. Ask the questions. Get the services that's needed. We want to invest in everything else. Yeah, I said it. Okay. So what are some words of encouragement to those other than make sure they sign up for your group? Because again, it's also tough love. It's not being shame. I'm clarify that too. It's not being shady. It really is tough love. If you want to do something, I want to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward.
Yeah.
Because you could go out and say, yeah, I did that. Not, I didn't have all the pieces together and I'm struggling to get it together. If you want to write that book, if you want to do that production, if you want to start that company, doing your research is really important because if not, you're wasting money. And doing your research on who you connect with. Because sometimes these people aren't quality people.
Right. That part.
I can tell you how many people try to get me caught up in some pyramid schemes. I thought they was calling me for one thing and then I got to and I'm like, y'all wasting my time. Be upfront and honest is more important too. Don't just have me out here thinking that, is the collaboration going on and something else going on. Do your research. And when you find out that it's not what you want, actually share, the quality of the books that she wanted. So did the research to find out. You want to do your research so that you don't waste your time, your money.
Right.
Time you can't get back. Money you possibly can get back.
Absolutely.
The time you can't get back. So again, tap in. Oh. Again, not shade, tough love. Want to clarify because people like, oh, no, tough love.
Right.
I wasted my money before. I wasted my time before. I don't want you to do what I do. Shucks. I thought I was doing the dang thing and found out the dang thing was doing me. I said, wait.
Right.
All in love. Hard lesson that I learned that we've learned that you don't have to learn yourself. Okay. Now again, if you feel like you have to go into the water and see if it's cold, by all means, rock out.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go in the water to know that it's cold. If you tell me it's cold, I saw you shivering, I'm gonna mind my business and go the other way or wait till Okay. So as we come to a conclusion, what are some words of wisdom that you would give to somebody that is afraid of stepping out and doing publishing, writing that book, doing that production, being as creative and blossoming into the flower that they are?
Absolutely. I would just say do it. Sometimes it's we make things more complicated than they need to be. I would say do it. And what I always say is it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be perfected. But you have to start. You have to take that first step. Everything starts with that first step. And sometimes when we're looking at the entirety of the vision, the entirety of the picture, it gets overwhelming. You feel like, how am I going to ever be able to pull this off? But when we look at things just step by step, and oftentimes that's why God doesn't show us the entire thing, because it would be too intimidating. But he shows us just what's right in front of us. The scripture tells us that his word is what? It's a lamp unto our feet. It's a light unto our pathway. But that pathway is just showing you what's the next step, what's right in front of you. It's not illuminating the entire picture. It's just showing you the pathway so you can keep on stepping. And so I would say take that first step in faith and perfect it as you go.
Take that first step in faith. Reminds me of one of the quotes of Martin Luther King. It's not gonna come to me now, but it's somehow being in that stairwell. You gotta take that step. I like it.
Absolutely.
And to that person that's sitting on a manuscript right now, that's sitting on an idea again, take that step of faith. Sign up for that training tomorrow. Find out when the training is happening in March. Connect, reach out. You go to the website to do a consultation and things of that sort. Because again, if you've never done it before, you've never done it before.
Right.
If somebody else has, by all means, reach out to them.
Absolutely.
So, another question for you. So, being a creative, so many thoughts could be coming to your mind at one time. How do you stay balanced with all those thoughts and ideas coming in?
I think being able to filter things, to know when something may be a good idea, sometimes it's not a God idea. Sometimes the idea is for later and it's not for right now in this moment. Some things are for in this moment, and if you do it later, it's not going to have the same impact. So I think being able to filter all of the different ideas that you may have, knowing what may just be for fun and not for profit, when something may just be a hobby and doesn't have to be a business idea. Just being able to filter through all of those things, I think is important, because if we try to make everything a business and everything profitable, then you can easily become distracted, overwhelmed. My business mentor, Mazda Miles, always had this quote that said, and she got it from Bishop Stephen Walker, the enemy of a good idea is a new idea. It's something like that. It's something like that. So you'll have a good idea, and then a new idea comes in and completely and totally distracts you from the idea that you had before. So, knowing when to stay focused on a thing, but also knowing when to pivot. So I think just taking that time to sit with yourself, to understand who you are. So, when you're just doing too much, it's like, all right, girl, how you get an idea, you're ready to just go run with everything. Maybe down. So knowing yourself, understanding your own creative process, and being able to filter through all of the creative ideas that may come with you, to know what you should run with, what should be a hobby, what you should rest for another season. I think it's important to be able to do that.
I like that. Knowing what's a hobby, thinking of knowing what's a career, because some hobbies you don't want to do forever as a career. I have a friend that loves crocheting, but she's like, I don't want to make a job out of it. I just do it for fun. Keep that as a hobby, because if you make it as a career, you do fall out of love with it. Those things for the career, those things are going to sustain you and you feel good, where it's okay to be doing it. You
And
enjoy
know
doing
what
it.
you have the capacity for, you know what I mean? Because for some of us, we can be a multi-hyphenate. You have the capacity to expand it that way. And for others, it's like, if you don't lock into a thing, then you're never going to make any progress. So just really knowing yourself, understanding your creative process, understanding your creative capacity. I think all of those things helps you to be able to filter what to do and what not to do.
For sure, for sure. I found the quote from Martin Luther King. He said, faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase.
Absolutely.
So your vision is to try it. You take that first step, and then that light becomes clear to know what way you should go.
Absolutely.
I love it. That's good. That's good. Stacey, what's next for you? We had a training tomorrow. I'm going to share that. You have the training in March. You have university HBCU style coming. So excited for that. I'm so excited for you for doing that. Excited for your team. Because again, you're doing a great thing, and I'm excited for everybody that's backing you. May they continue to push you and encourage you to do this thing that's supposedly small,
right?
But it's bigger than big. Okay. And again, don't despise humble beginners, right? So it starts small, but it's again about to blow your mind. I'm so excited. What's something that you want us to walk away with, Sue? This was so good. You gathered us together. You let us breathe a little bit.
Good. I think the idea of the name of our company, which is Small House, and our slogan is Small House, Big Dreams, right? And so understanding that you may look at yourself as small, or your team is small, or your finances as small, but you are able to dream as big as your imagination can take you. And sometimes that's all that you need, is just to be able to dream big. And so that's why that's the name of our company. There is a quote that says, a small axe chops down a big tree. And so even with this small house and this small team and what may sometimes feel like small resources, we've been able to dream and actualize the biggest visions for our company and for our community. And so I would say that I hope that everyone who has watched this takes that away with them, is that, you know what I mean? You don't have to have it all. You don't have to be able to do it all. But just taking that first step and really believing in the dreams that God has placed in your heart, is that you're going to be able to accomplish things. The Bible says that eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, nor have it entered into the hearts of men what God has prepared for those who love him, for those who are called according to his purpose. And so, you know what I mean? Start where you are. Start with what you have, no matter how small that may be. Dream as big as your imagination is going to let you dream. Dream as big as the Holy Spirit is going to allow you to dream, because if he's put it in your heart, if he's giving you that vision, then he is able to do what he said he is able to do. And that is where our trust and our faith lies. So it may be a small house, but you dream big.
Drop the mic, small house. Big dreams. I like it. I love it. Oh, this is really, really good. Thank you.
Yay!
I'm excited. Please be sure to send over the stuff so I can be able to share it. Some people be following me and liking stuff, so I want to be able to like put it out there. And again, the more it get out there, the more it connects to this person, to that person, to that person.
Really, I'll tag you.
So we're gonna spread the word. We're gonna spread the word because we got big dreams.
Absolutely.
Big dreams. Oh, I love this. Yeah, that was all my questions I have for you. But please, if I don't have the links, I do have the links, so I'm going to share. So again, for tomorrow's training, you can go to welcome to smallhouse.com to sign up.
Mm-hmm.
For all things Small House, you can go to smallhouseproductions.org.
Yes, you can.
Because it's Monday and it's Black History Month and it's just another day to be grand, we want to go to smallhousekids.com to pick out one of those books or both of those books for a child near you. Or the child within you, because I enjoy reading the kids' book too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I like it. So again, we want to be able to support good business that's going on over there. So please be sure to support Small House Productions, that house all your big dreams, that helps you to succeed and flourish and do all those big things. So it's really cool. It's really cool. Thank you again. So again, I'm going to go to your pages to make sure I have all the right. If you have a flyer for it, do you have a flyer for tomorrow's training?
Yes. Yep.
Cool. I'm gonna go find it. I'm gonna share it. Y'all make sure you guys sign up to go tomorrow at 7. Again, I said I couldn't go, so if you go for me.
Absolutely.
Let me know what we talked about.
Like,
I'm gonna be in there on March. Thank you guys again so much, man. Y'all have a great evening. Thank you, Sue.
Thank you.
Oh, friends, I hope that you really enjoy Susan Charlie. She is amazing. She is a gem. Such a sweetheart. And I'm so excited for what she's doing over there at Small House Productions. Small House, Big Dreams, okay? Oh, don't forget our quote of the day. Our quote of the day was, creativity is not a competition. Creativity is not a competition. If you're dreaming and aspiring to do things, you don't have to compete with nobody. You stay in your lane, do what you're gifted to do, and I promise you, those that are meant to hear your voice will come. You know, there's restaurants that you go to. What's your favorite fast food spot? Ain't nobody competing out there. They just being true to their McDonald's burgers at McDonald's. They're being true to their Big Mac and nobody else ain't copying it, right? KFC is being true to their chicken. Popeye's got their chicken. You don't have to compete. Be creative with what it is that you're making and keep on going. Don't forget, we also have our Boss Girl Planner and Journal that's available. You can go to our website, chosencounselors.com, to purchase it. It's about to be hoodie season as the winter is leaving. So we have our I Don't Have the Capacity hoodie and Check on Your Friends hoodie. Some friends was asking for some crew necks. We're working on getting those up and running. And then we have our Let Me Ask God First. Because like you said, if you ask God, he will guide you in what it is that you need to do. You need to follow the steps of what he's telling you to do. Be sure to join us next week as we will have my friend Coach Janae back. We're talking about choosing healthy love. Because why? It's a choice. You got to be able to choose what's healthy love for you. And it may look different for you than it is for somebody else, but it's going to be good. I do appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. Again, also, if you want to be a guest on Jen Cares, powered by Swag Heart and Chosen, be sure to comment in the comments, guys. And I'll be sure to reach out to you so we get you connected, because we're all about bringing the community to you and sharing about the amazing things that are going on. Again, I thank you all so very much for joining us. Until next time, I love you guys for real. Good night.
Thanks for joining Jen Cares this week. Special thanks to our sponsors, Swag Her Magazine and Chosen Counselors, guests, and viewers. Such a good conversation. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you found value in today's show, we'd appreciate your sharing it with a friend and dropping a comment down below. Until next time.